This video is proudly sponsored by myself. And if you want to help me reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers, this is a journey I've been on for 10 years now, please finally consider hitting that subscribe button. And as always, we don't do inflation here. Windows 11 Pro retail keys are still just $12.50 worldwide, also 10 years strong, and it can activate in all languages. So if you're interested, click the video description to purchase them. The E3, once the undisputed centerpiece of the gaming calendar every time in June, is now officially part of the industry's past. So after years of decline and digital fragmentation, the event that once defined how and when games were revealed is no longer on the schedule. This means also in 2025. However, the void left behind hasn't gone unfilled. In fact, it has become something entirely new. So this week, the week of June 2025, we witnessed a tightly packed series of independent showcases that have effectively taken the place of the E3. Not in format per se, but with the impact. We have the Sony State of Play, the Xbox Gaming Showcase, the PC Gaming Show, and the increasingly influential Summer Game Fest all aired within days of each other. So this was finally now creating a new kind of momentum, or at least an official new kind of momentum, since the E3 is not officially there. This is probably going to be the new concept we need to get used to. If it's bad, I don't think so. I think this works pretty well. So this is a longer, more distributed and far more publisher driven week, I would say, with all these events. So each event brought its own style, focus, platform specific priorities, and Sony spotlighted cinematic experience and exclusives. Microsoft emphasized their Game Pass integration, their new handheld in collaboration and studio partnerships. The PC gaming show showcased normally technical innovation, but mostly some nice indie surprises. And I would say the event that truly shined this year was the Summer Game Fest. And what it always does is it ties everything together as well in a more week-long celebration of the entire industry. So in this video, we compiled a top 15 list of the most significant game reveals from all of these shows combined, which happened this week, or I should say last week. And this is not my personal ranking. I would say this is more based on a broader analysis, combining early critical impressions, community reaction, social media buzz, and developers' reputation, all for this top 15. So the goal is to highlight not just what looks exciting, but what's actually resonating with the players and critics alike. So these are the titles that have sparked the loudest conversations, generated the most excitement, and in some cases stirred the most debate. So whether you're a longtime fan of the E3 or the Games Week, or just turning in to see what the future of gaming looks like, at least that's what these companies always say to us, this list is going to be your snapshot of, I would say, where the industry is headed, and has a little bit of a glimpse of everything that I mentioned above. So the games that are most likely to define that future, whether that is good or bad, that is what this top 15 is all about. So let's get into it with number 15. Announced at the PC Gaming Show, we kick off with number 15, Anno 117 Pax Romana. So Ubisoft Mainz is taking the Anno franchise to ancient Rome with Anno 117 Pax Romana, set in the year 117 AD. So this city builder and real-time strategy entry offers freshly improved mechanics, including land combat, which was a long-missed feature among the fans of Anno, and also now the game introduces a 45-degree grid, allowing roads and buildings to follow more natural and engaging city layouts beyond the traditional square grid that we know from Anno. So you also choose your starting province. You'll be either governing as a Roman in Latium or charting your own path in the Celtic realm of Albion. This will be adding cultural depth and strategic variety. So in short, Anno 117 Pax Romana blend classic empire building with modern flexibility and strategy of a brand new 2025 Anno game. So mark your calendars because it will launch at November 13 of 2025. Number 14 was announced at Sony's State of Play. IO Interactive has officially revealed 007 First Light, setting a fresh origin tale for the youthful James Bond. This was developed by the creators of the Hitman series, and this standalone action-adventure lets players step into Bond's early career. before he earns his 00 status. So as he trains with MI6, hunts down a rogue agent, and sharpens his spycraft through stealth, high-octane action, and gadgetry, the gameplay leans into the proven stealth foundations. And now also, these have been blended with the more traditional Bond flair. So expect options for silent takedowns, brutal confrontations, car chases, and cinematic set pieces. And the trailer teases environments ranging from snow-covered resorts to bustling nightclubs, highlighting the studio's spy fantasy expertise. So character-forward storytelling is also evident. Players encounter younger versions of classic figures like M, Q, and Moneypenny, all set within a narrative that emphasizes Bond's evolution from Navy recruit to international agent. So while some critics debate the need for an origin arc, most praises IO's approach, calling it the ultimate spy fantasy built on decades of stealth design from this amazing studio. So 007 First Light launches in 2026 across PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2, and of course PC. Announced at Summer Game Fest, we find number 13, Mortal Shell 2. So Mortal Shell 2 expands on Cold Symmetry's dark atmospheric formula with more visceral combat, deeper customization, and a broader interconnected world. The reveal trailer leaned into a heavy metal aesthetic, complete with blood-soaked melee, gruesome bosses, and adrenaline-pumping intensity. A significant enhancement is the addition of ranged weapons, such as shotguns and machine gun crossbows, and this will be amplifying the sequel's aggressive combat style and building on the more brutal melee foundation we saw at the first Mortal Shell. So players can also expect an enriched shell system, and this was also known from the first game of course, allowing them to inhabit multiple warrior archetypes, each with unique abilities and a more expansive narrative world. This will include over 60 interconnected dungeons, which were teased, so the sequel promises both skill but also depth. So community responses have been overwhelmingly positive. Forums praised its surprise reveal and darker tone, but also critics noted its readiness to evolve the series into something more ambitious. So in essence, Mortal Shell 2 is poised to be a darker, more brutal take on the franchise, combining Souls-like complexity with heavy metal flair, and also now new expanded combat systems. So Mortal Shell 2 launches in 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Our number 12 is High on Life 2. This was announced during the Xbox Games Showcase. High on Life 2 resumes its surreal, comedic, sci-fi journey with even more outrageous gameplay. So the sequel builds on the original's trademark humor by introducing high-speed traversal via skateboarding through futuristic environments interwoven seamlessly with the chaotic combat. And this is done thanks to an expanded arsenal of the familiar talking alien weapons, ranging from flame-spewing pistols to reality-warping sidearms. And yeah, that is just as crazy as it sounds. So players were already reacting pretty enthusiastically because the trailer's blend of manic action and an absurd humor has been praised across social platforms, many calling it a standout moment from the showcase because the first High on Life was the biggest third-party debut on Game Pass, so fans are hoping its sequel continues to do that successfully in a very good way. So the original polarized critics and many are eager to see if the sequel tightens its design and tone. Its commitment to the eccentric world building remains very clear, of course. I think this first game was a really unique game, and I can't really wait for High on Life 2, of course. So this game launches in winter of this year, 2025, on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series as well. At number 11, we have the Rogue Prince of Persia. So this was announced at the PC gaming show. The Rogue Prince of Persia returns the iconic franchise to its 2D rogue-like roots. So it has been expertly crafted by Evil Empire, and this is the team behind the legendary Dead Cells game. So the game shines with fast-packed acrobatic travel, wall runs, pole swings, and fluid combat. So seamlessly blending melee and range attacks in its procedurally generated levels inspired by Dead Cells' come back stronger philosophy. So early access reception has been stellar, and the art style, music, and overall feel have been drawn consistent praise from fans seeking a fresh yet familiar take on the series. So rather than replaying static maps, each run evolves, unlock new weapons, explore different biomes, and face a rotating roster of enemies and bosses in the Oasis Hub. So in summary, the Rogue Prince of Persia offers a compelling blend of acrobatic platforming, roguelike replayability, and strikingly original visuals and sounds. It launches in August 2025 on PC, with console releases to be announced later. We enter our top 10 with Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. This was announced during Sony's State of Play, and Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is a lavishly enhanced version of the critically acclaimed 1997 tactical RPG. So the reveal trailer showcased a polished update to the world of Ivalice, spotlighting fully voiced dialogue, a redefined user interface, and graphical overhauls that respect the original's aesthetic, but also giving fans the ability to switch back to the classic presentation. So critics and longtime fans have warmly embraced the announcement. Coverage highlights the careful balance struck between nostalgia and modernization. They noted that the release of two modes, so classic and enhanced, ensures both new players but also the veterans can experience the game on their own terms. So community discussions on Reddit reflect emotion and optimism, with a number of users expressing joy and even tearful reactions to the reveal. So a few expressed concerns about the pricing. Most commentary remains overwhelmingly positive, celebrating the return of one of the most influential strategy RPGs of all time. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles launches on September 13 of 2025 on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series, then on Switch 2 and on PC. Our number 9 was announced at the Xbox Game Showcase, The Outer Worlds 2. So The Outer Worlds 2 expands Obsidian's satirically RPG vision with an all-new journey into the lawless star cluster of Arcadia. So the reveal trailer kicked off with vibrant combat and a mix of quirky weapons, from shrink rays to liquefying guns, and this identity is both a parody of capitalism and an accelerating space adventure. So a pretty weird but unique combination also that we saw from The Outer Worlds 1. A standout highlight is the game features a robust perks and flaw systems, offering over 100 options that not only shape combat and dialogue, but also approaches this as a incorporate humorous drawbacks like creaky knees, adding unpredictable twists to character builds. So Obsidian also promises richer companion interactions, faction conflicts, and expanded narrative layers, all central to the sequel's design philosophy, with a new story trailer showcasing those world-building strengths. Community enthusiasm has been pretty strong with The Outer Worlds 2, many praising the trailer as a standout moment of the showcase and expressing excitement about its Halloween-era tone and expanding gameplay systems. So in essence, The Outer Worlds 2 promises a bold leap forward. We also have more weapons, we have deeper choice, sharper satire, and a sprawling new galactic playground. The Outer Worlds 2 will launch in October 29 of 2025 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC, with also Game Pass availability on day 1. Number 8 was announced at Sony's State of Play, Silent Hill F, but I'm pretty sure I should pronounce that F differently. Anyway, this new Silent Hill will come with a bold new direction, a standalone story set in 1960s Japan. It will feature a new protagonist, and it is developed by NeoBards Entertainment. So this entry reinvents the formula we normally know from the Silent Hill series by transporting its psychological horror from the fog-shrouded streets of Maine to a new, more eerie, nostalgic town in Japan, and it is blending the unsettling Japanese folklore with Silent Hill's trademark atmosphere we all know from the previous game. So gameplay reveals an increased emphasis on melee combat and a shift towards action-focused horror. It's also powered visuals by Unreal Engine 5 that push the aesthetics and a very disturbing design to brand new levels. So early trailers and the gameplay reveal have now impressed both longtime horror fans but also newcomers. Reactions highlight its haunting atmosphere, visually storytelling, while some discussion question whether a Japan-based setting fully captures the essence of the Silent Hill franchise, but overall excitement remains very high. So the release date is now officially confirmed via the State of Play trailer. Silent Hill F is building the significant momentum as one of the most anticipated horror games, and it was supposed to be launching at September 25th in this year, 2025 of course, so it's coming there pretty soon. It will be launched on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and on the PC. At number 7 we find Gears of War Reloaded. This was announced during the Xbox Game Showcase, and Gears of War Reloaded brings the first Gears of War from 2006 fully into the modern era. This remaster is going to deliver stunning 4K visuals up to 120 FPS in multiplayer. We're going to have HDR, spatial audio, of course the single player campaign where it all started with, and it's also going to be seamlessly cross-play and cross-progression across Xbox Series, PC, and yes, newly PlayStation 5. So the package includes the complete original experience, encompassing the bonus campaign, all multiplayer maps and modes, with the original split-screen co-op and support for 8-player online matches. And this is the first time the franchise is officially playable on PlayStation 5 and Steam, marking a pretty bold move in Microsoft's strategy to releasing games. So the community reactions have been mixed but truly engaged, because this real first Gears of War was of course a very important game for the Xbox platform. Veterans appreciate the nostalgia, technical polish, also some question the value given into the previous remaster, but still many fans sees the portability and multi-platform accessibility as a significant win, particularly with the free upgrade for owners of the Ultimate Edition. So I would say this is a pretty cool remake. We're going to see the first Gears of War, 4K, 120 FPS, all the extra features, the original crossplay, the cross-progression system. I mean, this remake can't be done any better in my opinion. So that's why it's on number 7 as well. And in essence, Gears of War Reloaded, I would say is going to be a very, very welcome remaster from the first game that started it all. It will launch on August 26, 2025 for Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, keep that in mind, and PC, not only in Microsoft Store but also directly on Steam. At number 6 we find Ninja Gaiden 4. So this was announced during the Xbox Game Showcase, and Ninja Gaiden 4 marks the long-awaited return of the classic. Now carried forward through the powerful collaboration between Team Ninja and Platinum Games. Ninja Gaiden 4 is set in a rainy, cyberpunk-inspired Tokyo, and the trailer introduces Yakumo, a new ninja protagonist. And it will star alongside returning legend Ryu Hayabusa. So the gameplay strikes a balance between brutal combo-centric melee and stylized violence, underpinned by dynamic visuals, dismembering effects, all the good stuff we know from Ninja Gaiden. Combat has been deeply expanded, so the early footage reveals the Bloodraven form, and this is a powerful state you can be in, fueled by skillful parries and enemy damage. We're going to see wall runs, aerial maneuvers, and redefined counter systems. So these innovations promise a satisfying evolution of the series, signature high speed, high stakes combat, and just the stuff you love from Ninja Gaiden. So the online reaction was immediate and absolutely enthusiastic. So Reddit threads captured the excitement, with many praising the surprise reveal, the return of Hayabusa, and the promise of a true next-gen Ninja Gaiden experience. So in short, Ninja Gaiden 4 aims to reignite its brutal legacy with very sharp combos, modern controls, and dual protagonist dynamics for veteran fans but also new players alike. It will launch on October 21 in this year, 2025, on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and the PC, with also access to Xbox Game Pass Day 1. We are entering our top 5 with one of the most anticipated games for sure. This is Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Unveiled at the Summer Game Fest, this sequel to Death Stranding 1 dives deeper into the signature blend of emotional storytelling and world building that we've seen in Death Stranding 1. So the new trailer focuses on more interpersonal moments, atmospheric tension, teasing the expansive environments we're going to see, the conflicts, and the introduction of compelling new characters. So gameplay reveals an evolution from the simple traveling system to a more engaging experience. There's also going to be a dynamic day and night cycle, a new monorail system, and also more expanded combat options in this new Death Stranding 2. The community reactions have been immediate and heartfelt. Fans praised the cinematic storytelling and new gameplay beats, while others also voiced concerns over the performance that we've seen in the early trailer demos. Still, of course, the game is not out, we can expect a day one patch, etc, etc. So in short, this sequel promises a refined narrative journey with richer mechanics and an immersive environment. And of course, if you love the unique Death Stranding 1, the first game, you're definitely going to love this one. It launches exclusively for PlayStation 5 on June 26, 2025. I would say PC release will follow maybe a year later, but we're going to see on that. At number 4 we have a game which is not here because it's one of the better or most requested games, but definitely one that sparked the most confusion at the time of release. Because this was unveiled during the Xbox Game Showcase at the end game, and I would say everyone expected like a big surprise, and that big surprise started with an amazing trailer and turned up to be Black Ops 7. Super unexpected, I would say, and definitely sparked a lot of controversy around social media. So Black Ops 7 launches the series into a near future setting. It's going to spotlight a psychological thriller narrative, and it's going to be set in the year 2035. So this cinematic trailer mixes surreal imagery, folding cityscapes, data-driven butterflies, and ominous robot figures. So this is hinting that the story is centered on fear and control through technology, maybe AI, that kind of stuff. I would say the biggest controversy around this was that everyone expected a complete new franchise, a complete new IP as the last closing game of the Xbox Game Showcase, and boom, it turned out to be Black Ops 7. So a little bit of an anticlimax, I would say, but definitely one of the games that sparked the most controversy from all these games shown. So developer collaboration between Treyarch and Raven marks the first time two Black Ops titles were released back to back, something never seen before lately. And this entry bringing back core elements such as the campaign co-op, the beloved zombie mode, and now also expanding the Dark Ether storyline. So the game revisits key characters like David Mason, which we know from the first Black Ops, with compelling voice talent on board, and also ramping the futuristic weaponry and tactics we all know from the Black Ops series. So like I said, the reactions have been wild about this release. I have to say it ranges a little bit from excitement over the gameplay modes, the story direction, but also of course the concern over franchise fatigue. Nevertheless, the interest remains overall pretty strong about Black Ops 7, and it's going to be released very surprisingly not only on PlayStation 5 but also PlayStation 4, so Microsoft is releasing a lot of their exclusive titles also to PlayStation. Now to Xbox One, the older console, Xbox Series, and on PC of course. We are entering our top 3 with a very big title as well. Resident Evil Requiem. So this was unveiled at Summer Game Fest, and Resident Evil Requiem marks Capcom's powerful return to Raccoon City. So the trailer opened with a dramatic tease that left fans stunned, only to deliver the long-awaited reveal midway through the show, triggering a wave of memes and collective suspense. Something very unique and very well done by Capcom. So this is the 9th main title installment, and it returns to the city's post-apocalyptic landscape in 2027, introducing a new protagonist, an FBI agent retracing her mother's path amid the zombie horrors they faced. So this is built on the latest RE engine with ray tracing, and this game promises a darker, more psychological horror experience, and beloved classics like the Raccoon Police Station and Reset Trevor are back in chilling form. So community reaction was equally dramatic. Online forums noted a roller coaster of emotions, prank baited at first, then felt redeemed by the reveal, capturing a collective shock and relief when Capcom confirmed the announcement. So another player summed this up as one hell of a reveal, praised for restoring the franchise survival horror roots and delivering genuine excitement. So in summary, this really was an amazing, well done stunt almost by Capcom. And Resident Evil Requiem combines fan nostalgia with modern horror design, and is going to re-enter Raccoon City with renewed depth, emotional resonance, and cinematic polish. So it's going to launch in February 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and on PC. At number 2, we have Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. So this was revealed during Sony's State of Play. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is a full-scale remake of the legendary Cold War stealth classic. So the latest trailer reintroduces the iconic jungle setting and dramatic boss confrontations, now rebuilt using Unreal Engine 5 to deliver cinematic visuals and fidelity to honor the original design. So while staying faithful to the original plot and pacing, the game upgrades its controls with over-the-shoulder camera options and introduces optional modern or legacy control styles. So this means it lets new players but also veterans tailor their experience and preferences. One exciting quality of life enhancement includes adaptive visuals. Damage and camouflage now evolve in real time, so it's going to reflect player action and environment. The community reception has been overwhelmingly positive, especially after Konami re-recorded the iconic theme song with the original vocalist, which stirred a wave of nostalgia during the reveal. So even long-standing fans acknowledge it as a true labor of love, praising its balance of modern polish but also keeping the original intact. So all signs suggest Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is set to be the definitive way to experience this stealth masterpiece rebuilt for today's generation. It's going to launch on August 28 and this year 2025 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and on the PC. Then we already reached number 1 of this list, Hollow Knight Silksong. Probably something you would not expect from all these games being confirmed, but this definitely has the best hype around it. So this was confirmed during the Xbox Game Showcase. Hollow Knight Silksong has finally locked in a 2025 release window, raining excitement across the entire gaming community. So after years of silence, the updated listing and Game Pass Day 1 confirmation triggered an immediate wave of discussion and speculation. So the sequel follows a new protagonist through a vast, hand-drawn kingdom filled with over 150 enemy types, fluid acrobatic combat, and atmospheric world design that made the original a modern classic. Though no new trailer was shown, the simple confirmation of its release window proved more than enough to dominate headlines and fan forums once again. So despite frustrations over the lengthy development cycle, anticipation remains sky high. Players continue to express strong emotional investment, eagerly waiting every scrap of news and reinforcing Silksong's near mythical status among indie games. So with its signature blend of precision in platforming, haunting art, and soulful music, Hollow Knight Silksong stands at the very top of 2025 most anticipated releases. So it's supposed to be launched in late 2025 on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, PC, and on Game Pass Day 1. So the ambition of this game is so high. This is the number 1 of all the games released in these showcases during this week. So what was your favorite? Let me know that in the comments, and hope to see you with one of my next videos.